So, have you ever actually seen the emergency plan for your campus? I bet it exists somewhere, probably tucked away on a website or in a dusty binder. But let's be real, is a plan sitting on a shelf really enough to save a life when things go sideways? Today, we're going to dive into that critical gap between having a safety plan and actually putting it into practice. First things first, we got to understand the environment we're even talking about. A university is so much more than just classrooms and libraries. It's basically a miniature city, a buzzing, super intricate system that presents some really unique challenges during a crisis. And what makes these places so tricky are these three things, what we call risk multipliers. First, you've got high density. We're talking thousands and thousands of people packed into relatively small spaces. Then there's high diversity, a huge range of individual needs, different abilities, everyone's unique. And finally, high complexity. Think about it, sensitive science labs, priceless archives, essential services. In an environment this complicated, just knowing a procedure, yeah, that's not going to cut it. And that brings us right to the heart of the problem that our data really uncovered. There's this massive gap, a huge disconnect between the safety policies that exist on paper and what actually happens in the real world. Now, on the surface, things look pretty good. Almost 73% of universities say, yup, we've got official, written down procedures for emergencies. For fires, earthquakes, the whole deal. And that's a fantastic first step. But as you're about to see, it is only the first step.
So we have to ask the big question here. Does having a map you've never even looked at actually help you when you're lost? Of course not. An unpracticed plan is just a document. It's a piece of paper. It's not a lifesaver.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out there. Look at that massive gap. We just said that 72.7% of universities have the plans. But then look at that second bar. Only 31.7% of people on campus have ever even been in a drill. That huge space in the middle, that's what we call the vulnerability zone. And that is exactly where theory completely fails to become action. And if you think that's bad, the picture gets even more concerning. When we asked how often drills actually happen, the number one answer from over half of everyone we asked was never. Yep, that's right. 54% reported that no drills, no simulations, nothing are ever conducted. We have all the maps, but we've literally never walked the path. So why does this matter so much? I mean, why isn't just reading the plan enough? Well, the answer isn't about rules or paperwork. It's about biology. It all comes down to how your brain is literally wired to work under extreme stress. The key idea here is something called procedural memory. The easiest way to think about it is like muscle memory, but for emergencies. It's that set of automatic behaviors your body learns only through repetition. It's what lets a firefighter connect a hose, or a pilot handle an engine failure without stopping to think, what does the manual say? Their body just knows.
And here is the absolute crucial point. When a real alarm is blaring and your heart is pounding out of your chest, the rational, thinking part of your brain can just go offline. You flip into survival mode. And in that moment, you don't magically rise to the occasion. You fall back on whatever you've practiced. If you haven't practiced anything, well, you're a lot more likely to just freeze.
This whole situation creates this incredibly dangerous divide between what we know we're supposed to do and what our bodies will actually do when a crisis hits. Okay, let's look at a perfect example of this. We asked people, hey, what do you do during an earthquake? An incredible 95% got it right. Get under a sturdy table, protect yourself. Awesome. The knowledge is clearly there.
But here's the massive disconnect. Only 31.7% of those same people have ever physically practiced doing it in a drill. See? Knowing isn't doing. When the ground actually starts shaking, is your instinct going to be to calmly think through the options, or is it going to be to follow the path your body has actually walked before?
And this lack of practice, it naturally leads to a huge lack of confidence. When we asked people if they felt fully informed about what to do in an emergency, less than half the staff and only about a third of the students felt like they were. That means the majority of people on campus are just going about their day without a clear sense of what to do if things go wrong. And get this, it gets even worse. Nearly half the community, almost 46%, don't even know if there's a dedicated department responsible for their safety. I mean, if the people in charge of safety are invisible, how can we possibly expect the community to feel prepared? Okay, So we've laid out the problem, we've talked about the science behind it, and we've seen the impact. Now let's talk about the solution. This is a call for readiness, for all of us, you, me, everyone, to close this dangerous gap together.
We really need to shift our thinking here. Resilience isn't something a university is, it's something a university does. It's not some passive quality you have. It's an active, ongoing state of readiness that needs constant attention and, you guessed it, practice.
And you can be a part of that readiness right now. This isn't just on the administration. You can take 1 minute today, literally 60 seconds. First, find your campus evacuation plan online. Second, look at it and identify your assembly point. Don't just know it exists, actually picture yourself walking there. And third, save your campus emergency number in your phone. That's it. It takes no time at all. Because when it comes right down to it, it's all about this simple truth. An emergency plan is only as strong as our collective will to practice it. By turning these procedures into instincts, we don't just protect ourselves, we protect our entire community. So the real question isn't just what your university is doing, but what are you doing to be ready?